Have you ever felt that gnawing emptiness in your stomach? That desperate ache of real hunger? It's a feeling many of us are lucky enough to never truly experience. But for a young boy named Leo, it was his daily reality. This is the story of Leo, and a simple act of kindness that rippled out in ways no one could have imagined. Leo lived in a small, weathered cottage on the edge of a village that had seen better days. An orphan, he scraped by with the little he could find or the odd jobs the kind-hearted villagers offered. Most days, his meals were meager, but his spirit was anything but. He found joy in the warmth of the sun, the song of the birds, and the friendly smiles of his neighbors. One particularly harsh winter, a severe drought had left the fields barren and the village pantries nearly empty. Food became scarce, and even the most generous villagers had little to share. Leo's stomach grumbled constantly. For 3 whole days, he hadn't eaten a single crumb. His world had shrunk to a sharp, persistent ache in his belly. On the 4th day, as Leo was weakly making his way through the village square, a baker, seeing the boy's pale face and tired eyes, took pity on him. He reached into his nearly empty basket and pulled out the very last loaf of bread he had. "Here, son," he said, his voice raspy with his own hunger. "It's not much, but it's all I have left." Leo's eyes widened. The bread, small and crusty, felt like the most precious treasure in the world. He clutched it to his chest, his heart pounding with gratitude. He thanked the baker profusely and scurried away to a quiet corner, eager to finally silence the painful cries of his stomach. He was about to take his first glorious bite when he heard a faint whimper. He looked up and saw a tiny stray dog shivering in the cold. Its ribs were showing, and its big, sad eyes were fixed on the bread in his hands. Leo looked at the bread, then at the dog. He knew what real hunger felt like. He couldn't ignore another creature suffering the same fate. His own need was immense, but the empathy in his heart was even greater. Without a second thought, he broke the loaf in 2. He gave the larger half to the starving dog, who gobbled it up gratefully. As Leo was about to eat his smaller piece, an elderly woman, hunched over and leaning heavily on a cane, stumbled near him. She looked frail, her face etched with exhaustion and hunger. She hadn't seen Leo give bread to the dog. She only saw a boy with a piece of food. Her gaze was desperate. "Young man," she whispered, her voice barely audible, "could you spare just a tiny piece? I haven't eaten in days." Leo's heart ached. He looked at his small portion, the only thing standing between him and another day of gnawing hunger. But then he looked into the old woman's pleading eyes. He saw his own desperation reflected there. So he did something extraordinary. He handed her his entire piece of bread. "Here," he said with a small, genuine smile. "You need it more than I do." The woman's eyes filled with tears of gratitude as she took the bread and slowly ate it. At that moment, a strange and wonderful thing happened. As the old woman finished the last bite, she straightened up. Her tattered clothes transformed into a beautiful, flowing gown, and a warm, golden light surrounded her. She wasn't an old woman at all, but a beautiful, powerful fairy. Leo stared, speechless. The fairy smiled kindly at him. "Leo," she said, her voice like music, "I have been watching you. I took the form of a starving dog and a frail old woman to test the hearts of the people in this village. Many ignored me, too consumed by their own needs, but you, who had the least, gave the most. You shared your last meal, not once, but twice, with a heart full of pure compassion." She waved her hand, and suddenly the small piece of bread Leo had given her reappeared in her palm, now glowing with a magical light. "Because of your selflessness," she continued, "this village will never know hunger again." She gently tossed the glowing bread into the air. It burst into a shower of golden sparks that rained down over the entire village. Instantly, the barren fields turned green and lush, filled with ripe crops. The trees blossomed and bore fruit. The village pantries and the baker's shop magically filled to the brim with fresh food. The villagers rushed out of their homes, their faces a mixture of shock and overwhelming joy. Leo was no longer hungry. He was made the village's special guest of honor, and he never had to worry about his next meal again. But more importantly, his act of kindness became a legendary tale, a constant reminder to everyone that true wealth isn't about what you have, but about what you are willing to give. Even when you feel you have nothing left, a small act of sharing can create magic. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like and subscribe for more tales that inspire. See you next time.